Welcome everyone, welcome to Schemes and News series by Clarity for Sure courses. So today also we are again here with a new scheme, but before starting today's session, let's deal with the question I gave you in the previous session of Atal Pension Yojana. And this was the paragraph that Ramesh, a 36-year-old auto driver from a rural district, wishes to secure a stable income for his old age. So he recently heard about the Atal Pension Yojana from his bank manager. The manager informed him that under Atal Pension Yojana, Ramesh can start contributing now and get a guaranteed monthly pension after the age of 60 based on his contribution and the age of joining. So Ramesh plans to opt for 3,000 monthly pension. Since he is not an income taxpayer and doesn't fall under any other statutory social security scheme, he wants to know if the government can contribute to his account as well. So he also inquires about how the scheme handles early exist, whether his wife can get the pension in his absence or not, and who administers the scheme. The question from here was, what is the minimum contribution period required for Ramesh to receive the guaranteed pension under the Atal Pension Yojana? So 20 years is the minimum contribution period required to get the pension under Atal Pension Yojana. So option number C will be the correct option. The next question is, if Ramesh wishes to opt for 3,000 pension per month, what factors will determine his monthly contribution amount? So his age and the desired pension amount he is willing to get from the scheme. So option number C, his age at joining and desired pension amount will be the correct option. The next question is that who administers the Atal Pension Yojana and ensures its implementation under the NPS architecture? So the Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority is the administrative body of Atal Pension Yojana, the PFRDA. Option number C will be the correct option. The next question is, suppose Ramesh passes away after turning 60. Which of the following would apply under Atal Pension Yojana? The conditions were, pension amount is forfeited, no. His spouse will receive the same pension until her death and the nominee gets a corpus afterward. This will be the correct option. Option number B is your correct answer. Coming back to today's set of questions of different scheme, let's deal with the paragraph and the questions very carefully, and this is your task for today's session. Go through the paragraph and the questions very carefully and then comment your answers in the comment section. The paragraph is, Case 1, you can also take a screenshot of this. Case 1, a resident of Vellore district lost his job during the COVID-19 pandemic and remained unemployed for 7 months. So encouraged by his sister who benefited from a government initiative, same alike government initiative, he applied for a loan under the grants in aid component of PM AJAY in the financial year 2021. So he also contributed 35,000 from his savings. With this support, he established a pharmacy shop. The next story is about another case, that is KP Durrai from Kanchipuram, who had been running a welding business for 18 years, learned about the grants in aid component loan and the subsidy from friends. So she applied and received a loan of rupees 5 lakhs and a subsidy of rupees 1.3 lakhs, which helped her to secure fabrication from L&T company and expand her business. Now she is employing 6 people under her and doubling her monthly income. The question from here is, under which component of PM AJAY did K7 and KP Durrai avail financial support to start or scale their businesses? These are the options. The second question is, based on the eligibility guidelines of PM AJAY, which of the following would most likely to apply both K7 and KP Durrai? So go through the paragraph very thoroughly and the options of the questions and then comment your answers in the comment section. The next question is, considering K7's case, what does the support he received from PM AJAY indicate about the nature of the GIA component? And the last question is, in both the success stories of K7 and KP Durrai, what outcome most likely closely reflects the broader impact intended by the PM AJAY scheme? These are their options. Go through the paragraph again very carefully and the options and then comment all of your answers in the comment section. So today we are going to talk about a very important scheme, that is your Pradhan Mantri Anusuchit Jaati Abhyuday Yojana, PM AJAY Yojana. We live in a country where from different economically financial backgrounds people live together. The backward classes also live together, and to erase the gap between this and to make them rise and evolve, what this is basically PM AJAY Yojana is doing. Let's know about the scheme in detail. So this Yojana was being in news recently as the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment have highlighted the PM AJAY Yojana that it is a comprehensive scheme under 3 centrally sponsored schemes, including number 1 Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana, number 2 Special Central Assistant to Scheduled Caste Sub Plan, and number 3 is your Babu Jagjeevan Ram Chhatravas Yojana. So PM AJAY Yojana was being launched in the financial year 2021-22 and it was being launched under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So as I told you that PM AJAY Yojana is a merger of 3 erstwhile centrally sponsored schemes, and the very first scheme is your Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana, second one is your Special Central Assistant Scheduled Caste Sub Plan, and the third one is your Babu Jagjeevan Ram Chhatravas Yojana. These are the 3 centrally erstwhile schemes being centrally sponsored under the PM AJAY Yojana. Let's read about PM AJAY Yojana in detail. So as I told you that it was being launched in the financial year 21-22 and it basically aims to uplift the socio-economic background of the scheduled caste community in our country through uplifting in them in education, in advancing them the skill development programs, and in through different developmental programs. So it is a merger of the 3 schemes and it's being fully centrally funded, and it supports the infrastructure, education, the hostels and the livelihoods. What are the objectives of PM AJAY Yojana? There are some basic objectives of it. So the very first objective is to reduce the poverty of the scheduled caste community by generating them additional employment programs, by generating them different skill programs through which they can get employment. The second one is to improve the socio-economic development indications by ensuring that adequate facilities and requisite services in the scheduled caste population dominated village, so to uplift them in the society. And the third objective is to increase literacy and encourage the enrollment of scheduled caste students in the different schools. So it is also encouraging education in this scheduled caste community. There are some eligibility criteria of PM AJAY Yojana also, 3 eligibility criteria. There was a question also from this eligibility criteria. So go through it very carefully. The very first eligibility criteria is the scheduled caste person living below the poverty lines, they are eligible for getting the benefits under various income generating and skill development programs of PM AJAY Yojana. The second one is your, in case of infrastructure development, the villages who are having 40% or more than 40% scheduled caste dominated population, they are eligible for the grants under the PM AJAY Yojana. The third eligibility criteria is, as for the definition of poverty line and the selection of SC families living below the poverty line, they are concerned the guidelines issued by the Planning Commission and the procedure laid down by the Ministry of Rural Development. So for selecting the beneficiaries through the Panchayati Raj institution, this system is being adopted for the eligibility criteria. Now, under the PM AJAY Yojana, there are 4 basic components of it, and it's very important. The very first basic component of it is Adarsh Gram development. So what is Adarsh Gram? Adarsh Gram basically is one where people have the access to various basic amenities like livelihoods, and it's creating the sections in different sections of the society, the services, so that the minimum needs of the society can be fulfilled and the disparities can be reduced to its minimum. And these villages will have all such infrastructure facilities. The residents will also have the access of drinking water, sanitation, education and nutrition, etc. As it is one of the objective of PM AJAY Yojana also, that it is empowering and it is creating the students to be enrolled, the scheduled caste students to be enrolled in school. So it's promoting education also, and this environment will create and enable everyone to utilize their potential to its fullest. The second component is your grants in aid for socio-economic projects. So PM AJAY Yojana basically provides financial assistance for the scheduled caste focus projects like village infrastructure, hostels, skill development programs and the livelihood generation, and the remaining funds are being allocated on basis of the scheduled caste populations. This map is showing you the increase in rate in grants in aid component of the socio-economic project. You can go through it in details also. The third component is construction of hostels. Under the PM AJAY, up to 2% of the funds are being used for constructing and repairing the hostels which are under the NIRF ranked and the institution and the government funded schools. So far 891 hostels including 27 in the FY 2024-25 have been developed and sanctioned under the PM AJAY Yojana. This map is showing you the exact number from different state, how different state is participating and helps in evolving the scheduled caste communities. So the fourth component is monitoring and evaluation. Under this Yojana, 5% of the total fund are being allocated to the administrative programs like covering the MIS development, the technical support, the office infrastructures and their evaluations and the social audits. And in the FY 24-25, 6.64 crore was being utilized for these audit purposes, so that the implementation of the PM AJAY Yojana is being to its fullest. Let's read about some of the success stories. After knowing the eligibility, the components of it, let's read some of the success stories of PM AJAY Yojana since the date of its launch. So after losing his job during the COVID-19, a pandemic and struggling fight to work for 7 months, Kesavan was a person who was being introduced to the program by his sister, who has been benefited from a similar initiative of government. So he applied for it and received a loan in FY 2021 under the GIA component of PM AJAY scheme. So the state loan components, and he also contributed 35,000 from his saving and established his own business, and he demonstrated his commitment to success. So Kesavan successfully established his pharmacy in Vellore district. The second success story is about KP Durrai. KP Durrai from Kanchipuram district. She was working in a welding contractor. So due to her working hours, on advice of her contractor, she started her own business of Ajay Welding Works in Enathar and provided jobs to 2 persons. After running this business for 18 years, now she got the opportunity to do L&T fabrication work, from which she needed a fund of rupees 5 lakh. So she came to know about the scheme, the PM AJAY scheme and the GIA component loan scheme for the state from her friends. And after knowing and applying under this scheme, she received a loan of rupees 5 lakh with a subsidy of rupees 1.3 lakhs under it, and started her, she undertook the fabrication work. And now she is providing employment to 6 persons and doubling her monthly income from 20,000 to rupees 40,000. These are some of the very famous success stories of PM AJAY Yojana. That's all for today. Go through the paragraph and the questions very carefully and then comment all of your answers in the comment section. I hope you have understood about this scheme. Subscribe our YouTube channel, join us on Telegram and follow us on Instagram. That's all for today. Thank you so much.